Hey everyone, Kili and Mike here from Long Range with the Lillys. Today we are in Portland, Texas with Beard Gunworks. We got Ryan and Kyle, and if you guys follow us on social media, if you've seen any of our videos, I get a lot of comments on my very beautiful white chassis with the Valkyrie symbol on the side. These are the guys who painted my chassis, and so we're gonna do a little meet and greet and ask a couple of questions here about things that are going on in the shop.
Sure. Yeah, so we first met you down at the Brawl. In 2018, I want to say 2019. No,
been a couple years.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, and we were from out of town. We had no idea, and you talked about the Cerakoting, and man, your guys' shirts were everywhere. Like everybody was wearing. I was like, who is this Beard Gunworks? And like, what's that all about? And then we met you, and we got Kili's chassis done, and. That chassis gets more damn compliments than anything else.
Yes.
And it makes me regret not have sent mine down too. I just didn't have an image that I wanted.
Just take it out of your car now, leave it.
Yeah, just leave it.
That's how we did mine. Hey man, can you take this? I'm in Texas now.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
But you guys do so much more than Cerakote work. Like, can you tell our viewers a little bit about Beard Gunworks, how you guys started and what you guys do?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just say we met about 7 years ago,
Probably.
Through another shop, and you were doing a lot of
Just barrel threading.
Yeah, just barrel threading, and you started doing the precision rifle stuff.
Yeah, I started shooting, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Sure.
Been a machinist for 20 years. Everybody down here wanted to spin barrels, get barrels done. Everybody wants something custom. So I put a little lathe in my garage and started spinning barrels for all the guys down here in the South. Just kind of as a hobby.
Right.
Started threading barrels for them with the shop he was at. And then just kind of snowballed into he wanted to open a business. I offered this up. He did the paint work, already had a huge Instagram following. It's kind of just a seamless transition into one unit, and here we are now.
So when was Beard Gunworks officially kind of founded?
2016.
2016.
Yeah,
So
the beginning of 2016.
And you guys have exploded. Like I talk to people all the time, even up in the Northwest, they know who you guys are. In fact, there's some shooters there today that were looking to get into the sport and like, who do we need to see? And I was like, I always recommend if you build a relationship with your gunsmith, start local.
Sure.
For sure.
I have my gunsmith, but he's halfway across the country, and everything you'd be doing is over the phone.
Yeah.
And so I recommended you guys to them because they're right here in Corpus. So,
Sure, yeah.
yeah. So Beard Gunworks. We'll get into the Cerakote stuff. A small sampling of some of the stuff you guys do, and it's way evolved even beyond precision rifle. Like, I think, our viewers will know you as precision rifle builders.
Sure.
But there's a large segment of the world that knows you for, Harry Potter Glocks, AKs, and ARs. Can you guys go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So other than the precision rifle stuff, we do a lot of custom Cerakote work, and we've done a lot of stuff. And one of the big things that got real popular was the Harry Potter Glock.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have seen it everywhere. There's memes of it and all that kind of stuff. And that was a product of our laser engraving and also the Cerakote that we do. With that being said, we've also done other stuff for people like Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger, which has been awesome. He saw some work that we did for Ronin, 2 Lamb. And it's just kind of snowballed from there with the different custom stuff on the pistols and mainly on handguns, not so much as like the ARs and stuff. But yeah, it's been awesome.
So you guys had your fingers in pretty much everything right now.
Yeah, this year we came out with our RB15s.
So this
that are
year?
behind you,
Yep.
yeah. Which, under current market restraints are pretty unavailable. But
Yeah.
hopefully that'll roll back in and we can get those coming out again. Kind of a hunting line that we're coming out with. This is our long action.
Yep.
I don't know how to say it. Call
Our,
it.
the Gungnir. So we have two different actions here that we're building a lot of our rifles off of. We have a short action and we have a long action. We haven't really unveiled the long action yet, but that's coming soon. We'll do a separate video on that so you guys get first peek, which is kind of cool. But we have our short actions, which are called the Mjolnir, Thor's Hammer, and we're doing. So this is like a production rifle that we're doing. It's called the Overwatch. They're all done in like an 18-inch platform, whether 223, 65, or 308. Keep it with the common calibers, nothing too crazy. But it's built off of a KRG Whiskey 3 with an enclosed forend. And then right now we're using Geisley triggers, but current market can't find anything right now, so we'll probably swap it or just let the end user decide on what they want. And then they can choose whatever scope and bipod attachment and all that. With our long action, again, it's called Gungnir, which is Odin spear. So keeping along the lines of our Norse theme and stuff, we chose the weapons of mythology since that's what they are. But we're really excited about bringing these to the market just because of the different options. A competition rifle, a tactical all-purpose rifle, and then more of a nice hunting rifle, mid to long-range hunting rifle as well.
So for our viewers out there, you kind of have a turnkey competition system, basically.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What is your price point on that, and what does it come with? So you got a foundation stock, I see that.
Yeah.
John, Kyle, and Amy are two of my favorite people in the
Great
industry.
folks,
Yeah, awesome people. And they make a great product. So tell me about your competition rifle. Let's pull it down.
So, someone that's taller than me, grab it. All right, so this is our competition rifle that we're doing. Comes in a Centurion. We found that most people like the closer grip than some of the other options that they offer. And of course, our Mjolnir action. Right now, we have a smaller barrel on it profile right now, where we're going to be going with like an M24 contour. It's a little bit more popular, obviously, heavier barrels, that kind of stuff. We see that a lot. Hawkins tank brake, their self-timing tank brake. And then, of course, an arc rail on the bottom, so you can put whatever bipod you want, that kind of stuff. And then these will most likely come with trigger text, diamonds. It seems to be real popular, especially with the competition guys.
Sure.
I personally prefer a two-stage, but at the request, we can always swap it out to whatever they want.
They make both.
Exactly. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I prefer the Geisley. That's mainly coming from an AR standpoint. I'm used to that. So. And I shot an AI for a long time too, and it's very similar. But again, user preference. And then we're also running the Hawkins bottom metal as well. It just makes up really, really well, and you can't go wrong.
Okay, what calibers are you guys offering?
We're going to stick with a lot of your standard calibers just for the guys that if they want to get in and they can start buying factory ammo.
Right.
Of course, your 308, your 6 Creed, your 6.5, mostly that, and of course, 223, mainly just because we might delve into some of the other calibers as well, since other people are starting to offer more of your competition style cartridges, whether it be 6-dasher or whatever else. I think until that becomes more widely available, we'll probably keep it in the standard caliber.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a big thing whenever people are looking to buy a new rig, one thing that turns them off about custom builds is the typical wait time that they're used to hearing. What is your wait time for one of these rifles right now?
Given everything, We'll still say about 6 to 8 weeks.
That's relatively short.
Wow.
It is
Yeah, so
compared to some of the other places.
We try to keep a good collection of triggers, stocks, barrels, and actions, so we can at least turn out a rifle,
Right.
bipods, RRS attachments, scope rings, that sort of thing. There's so many options out there. They're so hard to get that those might be your biggest hang up, but we try to keep everything else pretty in stock.
Okay. And for a full custom build, say somebody gets you parts, everything you need, because that's usually what people are waiting on is parts. Like I know if you want a Manners right now, you're probably going to be waiting for maybe the next president. It seems like. What do you guys advertise from like receipt of parts to build? Like where are you guys
8
at?
weeks.
How long?
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Okay.
That's just what we quote.
Okay.
I just did barrels that have been here for a week last night.
Yeah.
And then, the next one might take a few weeks to get to.
Sure.
Just depends on the workload at the time. But we generally quote 8 weeks, gives ourselves some cushion.
Okay. So I think another thing that I get a lot of questions on, most of our viewers are newer shooters, and a lot of times they don't even know the right questions to ask a gunsmith. What do you recommend people research and look into? Like for me, I always recommend like, hey, I want to build a rifle. Well, what are you going to use it for?
Yep.
Like step one.
Wow.
Like what else do you see is like, how can they help give you the right information so you
My
guys can build
recommendation
them?
to them always is, do you want to reload or do you want to shoot factory ammo?
Okay.
Yep. That's
That narrows it
that's a
down.
big one. Yep.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Yep.
If you want to reload, sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. If you don't know how to reload, don't pick the caliber you have to reload for.
Right.
off the
Right.
bat. Shoot a 6 Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, something easy. You can go buy ammo. You can go shoot that weekend. That's first and foremost. Then weight comes into play.
Sure.
We do a lot of like youth rifles. They don't want to carry around a 25-pound rifle,
Nope.
so that determines your barrel length, your
Profile.
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Suppressed or break. I recommend everybody shoots a break.
Yep.
Just because the recoil impulse is a lot better. Helps me stay on target.
Sure.
Cans generally push a lot harder.
And
Outside of that, it's all preference. Do you want a metal chassis? Do you want a phenolic type material? What do you want? Do you want the traditional look? Do you want the more tactical style?
right.
And then from there, we just narrow it down. So having those questions answered coming into it cuts down on the
And
the
budget,
time a lot.
right?
But
Budget's
budget's a
big
huge one.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say I'd like to add is there's not one rifle that will do it all. And that's a big thing that people come in, they want, well, I want to hunt and I want to do this. And you have to break it down like, if you're going to hunt, you need to build a hunting rifle. If you want to compete, you need to build a competition because there's no real middle ground. There is, but you're going to sacrifice
Yeah.
on
it's-
weight or this on both ends and you're not really going to be happy. And that's one thing for newer shooters. I try to tell them right away, like, there's not really a middle ground. It's either, if you want to shoot competition, let's build a competition rifle. If you want to build a hunting rifle, let's build a hunting, because you're going to regret doing kind of a middle ground
Yeah.
because there's so many negatives on both sides.
Yeah.
It doesn't outweigh the positives, I personally think, and we see that a lot. So we try to get what they want to start and then go from there.
Everybody kind of starts the same way, I think. Like everybody comes into it, they dip their toes in the water, they build something middle of the road that weighs like 14 pounds,
Yeah.
and they want to do both things with
Yeah.
it, and then they shoot 1 or 2 club matches and then dive into a $5,000 rig.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. And then they end up having to sell that one. 'cause it didn't get
Yeah.
there.
So they put a bunch of money into this, like, I don't know, a Ruger RPR.
Very
for
common.
instance. Yeah. And they're like, okay, this is really cool. I got a Vortex Viper. I've got the RPR. I go shoot a match. It's great. Saw all these super nice rigs. Got to have one of those now.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
Sounds so familiar.
Yeah, it happens to everybody.
It does. It
So-
does. So, after we get a custom rifle built from you guys, and then we want to Cerakote it with you guys, what are you guys looking for information there? Obviously, a design or at least a
Some kind
general
yes.
like idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I know that you guys had long conversations about what you were looking for, and yours is fairly simple,
It is.
but
It is.
it's still required some
The
thought.
hardest thing for us is when you bring us something, you're like, hey, make this cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, shit, that's a pretty broad.
What does
Yeah.
that mean to you?
Yeah,
What is
yeah,
cool
yeah.
to
Yes.
you? Yeah.
We've been down that road before, and sometimes it comes out great, and sometimes customers are like, yeah, but it's like, and we think it's just awesome, and then they don't really like it,
Right.
Yeah,
So some kind of direction. Most people kind of have an idea of what they usually kind of want,
Mhm.
or they've seen something and say, hey, mimic this, or I want this, but let's do this.
Yeah, go to our Instagram page.
And that's the
And
best thing
just
to do.
scroll
Yeah.
through the thousands of pictures that are on there.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And
Go to the
there's something
Instagram
there
page.
for you to
Yeah.
look at. Yeah.
Beard Gunworks.
Something will catch your eye.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's your turnaround time from receipt of whatever they're Cerakoting to completed Cerakote usually?
It's all about the same. We're about 6 to 8 weeks on about it.
Pretty much everything.
Usually, if it's a crazy custom job that requires a lot of stenciling and all of that, and I usually say longer just because it's so time intensive of
Yeah.
laying and layering and painting. A lot of people don't realize the amount of work that's involved in doing so many different colors and layers and stuff like that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
very intense.
And you guys do a good job. So if it comes out the way that you don't want it,
We will redo it.
Yeah.
yes.
Exactly. I
There's
remember.
a lot of things.
As
that
I
get
say, I think on
resprayed,
yours,
they
we,
never make it out the door.
yeah, well,
Right.
on yours, we same thing. We sprayed it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let it go out because
Yeah.
we take pride in everything that we do, and I'm like gonna redo it.
Yeah, I
I
know.
want it to be 100%.
I was really surprised and super thankful for that with your honesty. You and I hadn't met. I'd met Ryan one time at the NRL finale,
Mhm.
and you were like, hey, I'm just not satisfied with it. And I was like, oh, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
That you're going to go back, you're going to redo your work, and you're going to make sure that it's a quality product that that you want people to see and that you want people to notice and you want people to be like, who did that for you?
And I don't know a lot about Cerakote, but I see all these guys out there advertising cheap Cerakote. What it's just like when guys talk to me about custom
It's like the
rifles.
cheap tattoo. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, hey man, buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
Don't be disappointed and mad that you tried to save a few bucks
So-
and then you're disappointed. What separates good Cerakote from kind of that bargain basement stuff?
Application process.
Prep,
Yeah.
mostly prep,
Yeah.
and poor prep, poor spraying. Mainly we see it in prep. Guys don't strip it, don't degrease it, they don't gloss it, they don't do the proper steps to make it adhere,
Yeah.
and we see it chip and flake and peel, and then it gives it a bad name because they're like, oh, well, my rifle's chipping and cracking. I'm like, it's not supposed to. I'm like, that's not the way it's done.
Right.
And then we have to resell it to them basically like, this is how it needs to be done. And then we will explain to the customer, this is the process that we do. We strip it all apart, we clean it, we degrease it, we sandblast it, we put it in the oven, we make sure that we get all the oil out. If all the oil doesn't come out, it goes back to the degrease. And I tell people, like, we charge more for AKs and some shotguns. We get a lot of duck hunters through here.
Yeah.
They douse their stuff in oil, and I'm like, well, cool, it's going to take a week to gas out. I'm like, that's a lot of time that we have to spend to get it to
Sure.
the point
There's,
so that
there's
it
stuff
will
that
adhere.
literally sits in the oven for 4 or 5 days. Just you
Baking.
just watch the oil pouring out
Oh
of it.
my gosh.
And if that
Oh,
gets under
imagine.
your paint, it's obviously not going to adhere there. It starts peeling off, chipping.
Yeah.
I know I've been super impressed with how well yours is held
Oh.
up over
Yeah.
2-3 years of competition now.
Well, it's been about a year and a half, but
Okay, yeah.
I know it feels like
It
much
does.
longer. But Kyle, after the match today, we did just finish our match. Came here. He was like, "Hey, can I look at it?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." There's no cracking of any clear coat. Obviously there's going to be regular wear and tear with anything that you do.
Sure.
But I don't have any peeling or anything like that, and I feel like you were satisfied
Oh,
when
yeah.
you looked at it. And
For
I'm,
sure.
with what we do, we're not gentle.
No,
Exactly, yeah.
I
bang
bump
into metal
up
things.
against
Yeah.
Barricades, brick walls,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all of
yeah.
it is scuffed.
Railroad
everything.
ties,
Yeah.
dirt, sand. I mean,
Everything.
everything.
Rocks,
Everything. Yep.
sometimes.
Sometimes rocks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's
So.
been dropped a couple times too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, and a lot of women will understand this. It sounds like, women, they get a box, this is men will get this. You know, you go to the drugstore and you buy a box of bleach for your hair. Women want to go blonde and they fry their hair and they go into the salon and they bought the stuff at the drugstore just to save a few bucks. And then they end up having to go to the salon anyways and get everything done. And they spend, you know, 10 times the amount of money.
So, as same thing, we get people that bring in crappy Cerakote work, and I'm like, guess what? I got to charge you more to undo it
exactly.
and then to redo it. You know, it's a thing, and even like Krylon and stuff. Like people, I'm like, they're like, oh, just Krylon, and I was like, well, I'm actually going to charge you a lot more because we have to get all that stuff off before we can actually start our process, and it's time consuming.
Yeah, I bet.
So I see you got a lot of different examples. This one, for example, is I think pretty cool, and all of them are safe, guys. We cleared them all. This is an AR that you guys did.
Yep.
And then you've got a lot of other stuff that you guys Cerakote. Is there kind of anything that doesn't get Cerakoted, or you kind of do it all?
Man, we can Cerakote wood, polymer, basically anything but rubber. That's the best way I can describe it, mainly because the rubber obviously won't adhere. It flexes, it bends, which will cause the Cerakote to crack.
Right.
It is a ceramic-based finish. The wood can be done as well. We've done quite a few wood stocks. We've painted some foundations, you know.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Done quite a few.
We'll paint anything.
I was gonna say we've got something really cool.
It hurts
for
my heart a little bit because
yeah.
they're so beautiful to begin with.
Yeah.
John Kyle, every time we told him about one, he was like, "Well, I want to see it first and make sure it looks really good, almost like a seal of approval type of thing before we post it." You know, I'm like, it's like sacrilege, but I'm like, some people want custom stuff, and we're gonna do a really cool one for. Your new one comes in. It's supposed to be here this week.
Supposed to be here this week, but it froze. So.
Yeah, we're gonna do a pretty wild paint job on his, and I'll look forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
See where it ends up.
Yeah.
So the other hot
Right.
topic, do you guys have lots of other stuff? You sell pistols, suppressors. I'm imagining you're out of primers right now.
Yeah. Don't ask if we have 9mm because we don't have it.
Nobody has it. Or 223.
Yeah.
Or, none of it.
What
If
other-
we have it, watch us online.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And what else do you guys do? Any services that I'm forgetting?
Laser
Yeah, so
engraving,
We
right?
do the laser engraving. We do rifle builds.
This one's really cool.
And Cerakote is our three majors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the laser engraving, it's kind of you can do them on mags, we can do them on pistols, we can do them on rifles, anything, knives, cups, Yetis, memorial plaques, you name it. You can we can mainly engrave it. We can't do wood, anything that's metal, polymer, that kind of thing. We can engrave, and we've done a lot of cool things. I'm trying to think of the coolest thing that we have done, but there's so many, it's kind of hard
I know.
to choose from.
I see it all on your Instagram all the time, and I'm like, oh man, that is really, really cool. I wish I had the application for it. And you know, we talked about the Harry Potter Glock.
Yep.
That was because
That was everywhere. For
everywhere.
It was like over 4 million.
5.5 views on Facebook.
And
it
well,
really popped.
my little nerd heart was like, oh, I want that. But Glock is not my preference for guns.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh.
We do other polymer pistols too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so just kind of wrapping things up. Give you guys your Instagram, how to reach you, how to best get a hold of you, and that kind of stuff. And
So our Instagram's Red Beard Gunworks. You can see us on there, no underscore or anything. Facebook, same thing, Red Beard Gunworks. Our website, www.redbeardgunworks.com. This is about the only social media platforms we have, but we're really active on both. Instagram, it's the best place to really see the showcase of our work because it's just pictures. Just go through, scroll. If you see something you like, shoot us a message, a DM or whatever. You can email us to redbeardgunworks@gmail.com. If you have questions or pricing, we have pricing on our website. But if there's something crazy, unique, or whatever you want to do, I mean, just let us know and let's see if we see if we can do it.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, it sounds awesome. Thanks for having us, guys. We always enjoy coming down to South Texas. It's a little bit of homecoming for Kili. Gotta get some Whataburger and
There you go.
some Bluebell and some Texas things. We had some barbecue today.
Oh,
It was
the
amazing.
barbecue was so
Delicious.
good,
Really
so good. Yeah.
James always knocks it out of the park.
He does.
Yes, definitely.
So guys, check out Red Beard Gunworks. If you're in the Texas area, and you guys have not, I realize Texas is huge, but if you're the mid to south Texas area and you guys haven't swung by here, you're doing yourself a disservice. They do pretty much anything you could ask for, and they're great people to boot. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you share this video with your friends, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.